January horror is so fucking back. What is going on, everybody? It's 2026, and I told myself I will be focusing on my YouTube a lot more this year, so here we are. It is only January, and we have had two great movies already with The Bone Temple and now Sam Raimis Send Help. And this movie stars Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, and they play pretty out-of-pocket roles than what they normally play. But this one is about an employee and her insufferable boss. They're on a work trip, they get in a plane crash, they get stranded on a desert island together. So they must overcome their differences and hatred for each other and help each other to survive on this desert island. So I'll keep it spoiler free for the first half, but the performance in this were incredible. I loved both Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, what they both brought to this table. And again, it's very out of pocket from what they usually play. Like Rachel McAdams, I'm not saying she's always cast typed as like the very pretty, beautiful woman, but she's the complete opposite in this. She's got split ends. She's not well kept together. And she definitely looks like she smells like cat piss. Dylan O'Brien, he's a dick, and he has this insufferable laugh in this movie, and it reminds me of Eric from Billy Madison. But I love how we start off in the office setting. Like we've all seen the trailers. We know they are going to be on a desert island 90% of this movie. So I'm pretty happy that we get a little bit of that office setting. We get to know a little bit of the other characters, the side characters, and we learn that Linda Little is promised this VP position by Dylan O'Brien's dad, who was the CEO of the company before he gave it to him after he passed, and she gets overpassed by one of his buddies. So right there, we get the main point that fuels her hatred for her boss, Bradley. But after that, we learn a few little things, like Bradley has a fiance, Linda Little, she lives alone, she has a bird, and she's obsessed with the show Survivor. So Linda eventually goes into Bradley's office. She expresses her unhappiness for getting passed up for that position. He tells her to prove to her that she deserves it and that there is an upcoming trip to Bangkok that he would like her to come with on. So this trip, heading to Bangkok, this is when the plane crashes. And the plane crash scene is hilarious. Again, I won't give any spoilers, but it is funny. And during this plane crash, this is when we first start getting our little hints, our little reminders that, this is a Sam Raimi movie. So Linda and Bradley, they both wash ashore. Linda saves Bradley, and she builds a little hut over him to protect him from the sun, any other weather inclements. And as soon as Bradley wakes up, he is not remorseful. He's still a dick. He's still acting like they're back in the office. And this is when Linda's like, no, honey, we're not in the office no more. You're not in charge. So from there, they start working together. They start earning each other's trust. But then things start to get a little weird. Like Bradley is dead set on getting off this island, and there's something weird that is keeping Linda that she wants to stay on this island. So from there, it just starts building more and more and more tension until Bradley actually tries to poison Linda and escape. But I'm not going to say how he doesn't escape yet, but it doesn't work, and Linda ends up saving him again. But from that point on, that's when kind of the third act starts, and it just goes insane from there. But before we get into spoilers, again, I loved the characters. I love what these two brought to the table. The gore in this was phenomenal and over the top. Some of the CGI looked a little wonky, but that's what you get with the Sam Raimi movie. It still fit. But the biggest thing that I loved the most about this movie was Danny Elfman's score. Every time the music came on in this, it felt like a character in itself, adding tension, added emotion. It just elevated every scene to the next level for me. Now, getting into spoiler territory, if you have not seen this yet, click away, come back after you watch the movie. But no, they do not fall in love, and they do not get off the island together. One of them gets off, but not both of them. Like, Linda is definitely attracted to Bradley at moments, and it doesn't flat out say that Bradley is starting to become attracted to Linda, but as unkept and gross as Linda is back home, it starts to show her beauty a little bit more while they're on this island. And for me, I couldn't tell if it's just the camera showing that or if it's kind of from Dylan O'Brien or Bradley's POV. But there's a few moments, even without sexualizing Rachel McAdams, that it brought her beauty out a lot more on this island. So yes, as I said before, Bradley does attempt to escape this island. He poisons Linda, puts her out of commission, makes this little makeshift raft, and he gets maybe a couple hundred yards, and it just falls apart because of all the waves. So Linda ends up saving him again, And the scene when she saves him is hilarious. She just pukes nonstop because she was poisoned by these berries. So she's just puking nonstop on his face for a good 30 seconds to a minute. And the whole theater was erupting with laughter during this scene. So this next morning, Bradley's recovering from this crash on that raft. Linda was nice enough to make him this meal, saying, let's forget about what happened. Let bygones be bygones kind of thing. And the meal is just this delicious looking octopus. But I knew instantly, I was like, oh, she fucked with that. I was like, don't eat it. Don't eat it. So Bradley eats it. Sure enough, his entire body becomes paralyzed. Like, he can still see what's going on. He knows what's going on. He's still awake. He just cannot move. So Linda takes the knife and she explains to him, like, you ever try to do that again? Like, I'm going to kill you. But for now, I'm going to castrate you. So she starts going down lower with the knife, and there's so much tension during this scene. It was so well done. And like in Dylan O'Brien's acting, like the tears running down his face, it was insane. But as Linda's going down to cut, she keeps talking to him, and you don't know if she's really going to do it or not. But then you hear it. You hear like the ripping, the slicing, like she's cutting something. And like his face is shaking. There's still tears running down. Like, you think this man is getting castrated right now. But sure enough, she pulls up a rat. She was cutting a rat to scare the shit out of him and the audience. So after that, yeah, things are a little rocky between Bradley and Linda. But Linda goes off, looks for some more food. She's got like a bag full of mangoes on her back. And all of a sudden she hears yelling. And she turns around and it's Bradley's fiance along with some boat driver. And obviously it's stated, like, Linda does not want to leave this island. So she doesn't know what to do. She's all flustered, has no clue. So she's like, all right, I'll take you to Bradley. He's still alive. But as they're walking across a cliff where Linda almost falls off earlier in the movie, Bradley's fiance slips and she's hanging on. And the boat driver is trying to help her. And it just cuts to the next scene. Like, we don't know what happened. Obviously, she did not return with the fiance and the boat driver. So we presume they're both dead. So after that, Bradley's trying to get Linda to help do stuff. Linda is just like in a depression. She just wants to lay down, doesn't want to do anything. So that night is this crazy dream sequence where Linda dreams that Bradley's fiance washed ashore and she's still alive. And this is another very Sam Raimi moment with like a jump scare, the imagery. Love this moment. But yes, we learn that it's a dream. She's dead, like dead. So Bradley eventually finds his fiance's arm sticking out of the sand, which looked very Evil Dead to me. It gave me some Evil Dead vibes, which I also loved. But after Bradley learns that Linda killed his fiance, they could have been saved, but she ruined it. A giant fight ensues, and this is something that, like, it could have ended here during the fight, which I'm glad it didn't, but the fight lasts pretty long. Linda ends up stabbing Bradley in the side with a knife. And yeah, it could have ended there. But earlier in the movie, when they're exploring, Linda tells Bradley not to go to a certain area because it's full of thorns and it's just a nasty area. We learn that this area is a billionaire's mansion past that. Like, that's the big reveal. They had a boat dock and everything. She saw a boat leave from there earlier in the movie. So she knew about this the whole time. So Linda escapes into this billionaire's mansion. Bradley follows. And right here is another very tense scene. Like, we have a standoff with Linda holding a shotgun pointed at Bradley. And Bradley starts to gaslight her, saying he loves her, he wants to be with her, all this. And like, you're worried that Linda is falling for this gaslighting. And the crazy thing too, like, leading up to this part, like, both Dylan O'Brien and Rachel McAdams, they have great character arcs. So I would be happy no matter where this ending went, because they could have given a happy ending to either one of these characters at this point. But eventually Bradley disarms Linda with the shotgun, points it at Linda, pulls the trigger, click. Once again, Linda is just steps ahead of Bradley. So Linda has Bradley on the ground. Linda picks up a golf club. She goes to tee off on his head, and as she's swinging down, we get such a gnarly transition into her actually finishing the swing, but she's teeing off on the 18th hole on a beautiful green on the golf course. And at this point, we see the Rachel McAdams that we all know. She's beautiful. She's well put together, everything. And she's now the CEO of this company. So like I said, this ending could have gone either way, But if both of them survived, I think that Linda and Bradley would go back, and obviously Bradley is this big name, this big CEO of the company. I think that he would have gotten all the credit for them surviving, and it just would have gone back to normal life for Linda. So I do think that this ending for Linda, it definitely worked a lot better for me, probably most audiences, but I loved it. I loved how it ended. Her bird is safe still, because while they were on the island, I was like, who's feeding her bird? Like, what happened to the bird? But it shows the bird safe. It shows her driving off into the sunset. Beautiful ending for Linda. Now for the Easter eggs, let's go back to the beginning. Two signature Sam Raimi Easter eggs that we got. Obviously, the first big one, most people notice this one, but there's still quite a few that they said they didn't catch this one. But obviously, Dylan O'Brien, Bradley, he adopted this company from his dad, who was the original CEO, and his dad was Bruce Campbell, because when in Bradley's office, there's a portrait of a man in the corner, kind of out of focus, but you know it's Bruce Campbell. Like you can tell. And eventually another time he picks up a wedding photo of his mother and father, and there it is again, Bruce Campbell. And the second big Sam Raimi Easter egg, the 1973 Oldsmobile Delta 88. This is a very hard one to catch. I didn't catch this one. I found this one doing my research, so I can't wait to watch this again to look for the car. But when Linda's first denied of this promotion, Bradley really upsets her. She has to go to her car to let off some steam. When she's in her car in that parking garage, the Oldsmobile is in the background of that scene. And then obviously throughout this whole movie, from the jump scares, the imagery, the over the top gore, it's all Sam Raimi. Just Sam Raimi's signature is all over that. So let me know in the comments, what was your favorite scene? How would you have liked this movie to end? And do you think they gave the ending to the right person? And obviously, most importantly, did you have fun with Send Help? So if you guys are still here, I appreciate you watching this whole video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I'm really going to try to push out at least 2 to 3 videos a week now. So again, thank you guys for checking this out.